I'll just bring to him. Yeah, is he related to this gentleman? Robert, we are back on the air?
Okay, if you'd continue, Mindy,
Okay,
thank you.
sure thing. So the next thing that we're going to start, our new preschool coordinator is starting again the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program, which is a great program for the children before kindergarten. They get a certificate for every 100 books they read, and they get a little prize, and they get entered in a raffle. So that's starting up in December. So in your packet, I passed out to you it's an obituary, which is sad, but the amazing thing is this gentleman named Robert Day grew up in Belvedere, and he moved to Delaware. He became a professor, very learned in his field, a scientific writer, and just absolutely wonderful career. He just passed away, and we're mentioned in his obituary. He used to talk, for years to his children about how wonderful Ida Public Library was, so I was very touched by that. And they put it in the obituary, so I included that for you to see that the library does make a difference in people's lives, so I thought that was really nice. Quick housekeeping, we will be closed in the library from November 18th to November 29th. We are starting the elevator repair. The elevator repair, I think I mentioned before, consists of more than just the elevator. The servers were moved downstairs a few years ago. They had to be moved back upstairs. It's a whole can of worms, and it's a lot of cable and wires to move. The internet will be shut down beginning Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Without the internet, we do not have access to our systems to check materials in and out. We don't have phone service even, so we're going to just close down for those few days. And then, of course, Thanksgiving is coming anyway, so we would have been shut down anyway till the 29th for Thanksgiving. So if you do need books, please get there in the next 2 days. You can drop your books off. We'll be checking the drop-off every day. Staff will be in the building. We'll be cleaning. We'll be organizing, shifting shelves. There's a million and one things to be done in a library building that old, so we will be doing a lot of work. Cherry Valley Library, Jane Lenzer's wonderful, wonderful co-director, sort of. They're our closest neighboring library, and she called me today and said, we'll be happy to accept any requests. Anybody needs a book to pick up, they can go to Cherry Valley Library and pick it up, and she'll take care of all those kind of issues, because we won't even be able to get a request for you and have you pick it up. So that's the library situation. Now let's go on to this tax levy. So I did hear a lot about it. I apologize I wasn't here to answer all your questions. I reached out to, we seem to have this problem. I'm going to be the library director for a long time. I don't make the decisions on my own about the tax levy. The library board decides upon my recommendations and taking a look at the budget what they should ask for. That the amount that they're allowed to ask for is set by the Illinois General Assembly. So I believe it's 2%. They are allowed to ask for that by right every year to meet expenses. I don't make the decision on my own, like I said, but I'm the representative here to answer your questions, if you have any questions. But I don't want us to go forward in some sort of a animosity relationship where we're not benefiting the community. So I am new to my role, and I wanted to learn a lot about what happens with these laws and these rules. And I know that last year you had a lot of questions about case law and what's the obligations of city council when it comes to fulfilling the tax levy. So I reached out to our library contacts. I have consultants with the Illinois State Library. I have consultants with RAILS, which is Reaching Across the Illinois Library System. RAILS legal team is a company called Ansel Glink. Ansel Glink does all of our training for us through the libraries. They are legal consultants for the public libraries. So we reached out to them, and I got some advice from them. Well, not really advice, basically information, because I wanted to share with all of you the information. It's not a secret. I don't want us to be the only people that know this. So what I've included in your packet are 2 case studies. I know we talked about case law. There are 2 cases that came before, I think it was the Illinois General Assembly. The first one was in 1968, and that case was, I can't even pronounce the name, Efforts versus Brzezinski, and that's your first case that's in your packet. That was in the 1960s, 1968. And in that particular case, the village there was a case that came to court that the village did not have to pay the tax levy requested by the library board. In that particular time, it was ruled that they did not have to pay it because the language in the Illinois Library Act was not correct, so they didn't have to pay it. However, right after that case, according to my consultant at Rails, the Illinois General Assembly made changes to the language in the Library Act so that that would not happen again. They want to point out that they're not the attorneys, and so Glink are the attorneys, but this is the information that they had received on the library case law. The second case is a case, it's not an actual library case, but it's a case that went forward in 1997, I believe he said. 1997, and it's called the Village of Winfield versus Illinois State Labor Relations Board. In that particular case, it was a different case. It was a labor relations case, but in that case, they looked at some of the obligations of a city council to the library board. And they held in that case that the word shall in the Local Library Act infers an obligation, and that the duties of a city council, as far as the tax levy goes, are purely ministerial. So basically that's how it's set in Illinois by Illinois General Assembly. So I'm sure that Attorney Drella can look into these more for you if you have questions, legal questions. The Rails was more than happy to offer any other legal advice if you need somebody to come and just talk. They'll be happy to have somebody come and talk, but I'm sure Attorney Drella can handle all of that for you. But I just wanted to share that all with you because I had questions myself. I was like, well, what's going on here? What can we do? What can we not do? And also, as far as home rule goes, Ansel Glink has a statement on their website. Actually, you can just Google it about home rule when it comes to public libraries. And home rule only applies if a library is asking for above the tax cap allowable by law. And in that particular case, City Council under home rule can override that and award that amount over the tax cap limit. So, I mean, that's definitely something you could have Attorney Drella look into, but that's all the things that I found when I was doing some research on how this whole thing works. Personally, I don't really want to have a discussion every single year, but I will tell you right now that this library board will exercise their right every year if they need to, if the finances allow, and ask for the 2% increase. It's allowed by the Illinois General Assembly. It's just part of having a public library. I personally think a public library is great for our community. There are options. If you don't believe that a public library is great for the community, there certainly are options to get rid of it. It's probably going to be a lengthy procedure, but you can get rid of it. Also, the library board, we don't have openings right now, but in 2023, we might have some openings. There are terms expiring, and according to the Illinois state law, not more than one city council member may be on the library board. It doesn't say you can't, but I take that to mean we can have a city council member on the library board. So if that looks like that's probably the way we need to go in the future, is we have a city council member on our library board, we can certainly take a look at that. There's applications I put over there. If you're interested, fill out an application. We'll keep it on file, and maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to have a city council member on the library board going forward so we can kind of temper some of this situation. I hope I'm going to be on working for the library for a long time. So hopefully we can just smooth these things over. So I know there were questions about the money from last year, the money from this year. I have a very tentative budget in your packet. This is a very rough budget. There's a lot of unknowns in the budget this time around. It's a little bit early in the process. I just sat in a Prairie Camp meeting 2 weeks ago. Prairie Kid is our big consortium, and unfortunately our costs are going to go up 5.7% probably. Could be higher, could be a little lower, I don't know. They're getting a brand new technical system, and they're awarding their own people a raise. So we had to vote, 183 of us had to vote on whether or not to agree to this. I was one of a very handful of people who voted no, mainly because it's going to raise our costs 6%, and also because the new system is basically not fully developed for use of what we need. We're kind of getting a discount because they're developing it as they go. We're the sandbox. So I voted no, but I was outvoted. So it's going to bring our consortium costs up. I don't yet know how much. We'll find out before April, I guess, according to what they're saying. If we go by the line items on this budget, I just left the tax appropriation amount the same just to show what it will look like if we did not ask for an increase. When we take a look down at per capita, I left that the same, but there's an unknown there because this year, Pritzker awarded the 1.475 per person capita grant, but it's always been 1.25 before that. And it's a little bit unsure right now if he's going to continue the 1.475 or he's going to knock it back down to 1.25. The 1.475 was, you know, the COVID situation and trying to help out libraries. So I don't know how that's going to be. We might get a lot less than this 37,000. So if that happens, we'll have to revise a lot more. I think a lot of things are the same. I did not, when it comes to expenditures, I did not count on per capita grant money for the collection because I'm not sure and I don't want to take away from our collection from our planning. I did include, though, our personnel, which is our preschool programmer, because that's what we intended to use the money for anyway. And the outsourcing, which is our Tumble books and our special Learning Express apps that everyone really likes. So we do have an increase in wages. Not mine are staying the same. And I think that's about it. I mean, some of this is just trying to figure out where we can take money away from, where we can put money in. But the one thing we cannot do is take away from the wages, minimum wage. We are stuck with that minimum wage. We have 19 employees. I'm one of them. We have 10 full-timers, 8 full-timers and 10 part-timers. Of those part-timers, I included in your very back page of this budget, I'm showing you what we spent the money on last year. I guess it's on the last page. So last year, to meet the minimum wage, we had 6 employees, no, 7, 6 employees who needed to go up in minimum wage for the I'm wrong again. 5. We had 5 employees who needed to go up in minimum wage, and there's the total amount they needed to go up. So the money that you gave us last year in the tax levy went to that minimum wage increase, contrary to what was talked about before I took over. It did go to the employees and not to me. So that's where that went to. There's their wages. There's a small amount difference in there from what you gave us and what we used. Then that went to performance increase raises for some of the staff. Our staff had not had performance reviews since 2018. So I've been issuing them all performance reviews. You can't keep a staff with decent turnover unless you give them reviews and small raise, something. I had to hire 10 new people when I took over, which was kind of a big chore. So we had a lot of turnover. And then the last page is the increase that we're going to need to have for 2023. So 2022 is covered, but as 2023 rolls around in January, we have to go up again to $13 an hour. And then the next year we'll have to go to 14 and the next year to 15. So it's just going to keep rolling. I'm not guaranteeing that we're going to need all these people. Some of them are high schoolers. They might be going off to college. We might not replace them. So I can't say, oh yeah, we're going to keep all these 6. But some of them we will be keeping. So when I show you this on the last page, I also took out the preschool programmer because she's going to come out of the per capita money. So those are the reasons we asked for the 2% increase. It's fully going to the employees for minimum wage increases. It's not going to me. It's not going to frivolous things that we don't need, like new office chairs. It's going to the employees' wages. I think I told you almost all of our employees live in Belvedere. They live and work in Belvedere, and so you're just supporting your own community. They pay property tax. I pay property tax. So we're all part of this community. We're all here together. We all want to benefit the community. So there's no secret. If you have any questions, I've said it before, you're welcome to come to the library anytime you want. I'm there. I'll put on a lot of coffee for you, whatever, if you drink coffee. So far, I haven't had too many people take me up on it and stop in. I mean, the fire department's in a lot. The police department's in a lot. Dan Snow's in a lot. So some of you come in quite regularly, and if you want to come in, I'm there. Just come in and ask me questions or email me. I'll be happy to help you out. So that's all I have to say, but if there's questions, I don't know if you have time for questions.
Alderman Fleury.
Thank you. Just a couple things. I know last year when we had this discussion, there was concern that, several of the board members came in and told us that the raise was going to all the employees to cover minimum wage, and then the rhetoric turned that it was all going to the director, although the board member said that wasn't happening. So just to confirm, last year's increase went to all the employees and not the director.
It did. It did go to all the employees. My director's salary is right there on the budget. He left, he quit because, you know, I'm not that director, as you can clearly see. I hope not to ever be that director. So he did not get that increase. I mean, a lot of it, I think, was a surprise to our board members. We have some wonderful board members. 3 of them are here tonight as support. You all know Sue and Dan Holmes. She's our president of our board. And I think a lot of it was just maybe some dealings that weren't quite above board transparent. And I want us to be transparent with everything we do with you guys, so.
Right, and then this year, the increase, again, the same thing is going towards,
Going
because of the
toward-
minimum wage
Yes.
increase. So I
Entirely to
understand,
minimum wage.
as I said last year, nobody wants to raise taxes on the constituents, but in this case, it's something that
It's minimum wage.
is not able to go around. I know that we'll have a discussion as we go through this, but from my perspective, it's nothing really we can do about it because it's a law put in place that we have to hire
I can't.
people through minimum wage.
Unless
And that's
I
going
leave-
to the employees and not to some
Yes.
director.
No.
Thanks
No,
for
it's not
clarifying
going to
that.
me. And not only that, we're still underfunded. I mean, even if we get the 2% increase is not going to pay for all of the minimum wage. We still have to pay about $5,000 of that out of our own operating budget. So it's not coming to me, that's for sure. If it was, I'd be driving a whole different car.
Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I just had a couple observations. I agree that a library is great for the community. So are roads and public works and everything else. So the city has chosen not to raise its tax levy since 2017. Can you ever think of a time where the library has foregone its right to raise its tax levy?
I can't answer that, Marcia, because I haven't been the director of the library very long, so I don't know. I don't know the history of the tax levy for the library. We can certainly look it up and get you a listing of the history of tax levy decreases. We did have a decrease, I believe, in my own personal property tax. I looked that up, and there was a decrease in the amount I paid to the library a few years ago. But I don't know. I don't have all that information for you.
Okay, so I get that, you know, minimum wage has gone up, but we too have a lot of employees that work for the city, and they, through their contract, get usually a 3% raise each one. And still, we have chosen not to raise our tax levy. So I just wanted to point that out.
Can I make a comment on that statement really quick? Sure. I don't know how many employees the city has that are minimum wage. Are there any? I don't know that there are any. So we have several. We have a lot of minimum wage employees. They're high schoolers. They're minimum wage employees. I don't think the city has any. First of all. Second of all, I mean, it's not a detriment because it just proves that my home value went up, but I sat down and paid my own house payment on Friday, and what a shock to find out that my payment's going up $30 a month because my taxes are going up, because my valuation went up. And my escrow is now $396 short, so I have to pay $30 a month extra on my payment. Now, your tax levy didn't go up, but it's affecting me valuation-wise. I'm probably not going to be able to sell that house for 10 years or more, so it's probably going to go down again. So, I mean, it's 6 in one and half a dozen in the other. We have to pay the wages for the employees. It's just absolutely required by law that we raise their minimum wage. I can go through here and nitpick and try to see who we can lay off and who we can pick through and not pick through, but, I mean, the fact of the matter is it's not fun to have to deal with minimum wage forced increase. It is not. And it's making me tear my hair out every day because I don't want to lay any single one of these employees off, and I don't feel that we should have to. 18 employees is almost scraping the bottom of the barrel. I should have 1 or 2 more, but we don't because we know we can't afford it with the minimum wage coming up, so. That's all I have to say on that.
I just want to comment here on one thing that you said a little bit earlier, and you just reiterated it today. With Alderwoman Freeman, I think her point is that the city, particularly myself, and I didn't believe that we should raise our tax levy here for the taxpayers. We represent the taxpayers, we all do, and it's all money out of their pocket. Now, we can, we may be contrary to what we believe is passed on to the taxpayers, but ultimately it all gets passed on to the taxpayers, so we are accountable for it. I do appreciate you bringing up, and the point being, who looks out after the taxpayers? We have positions here in the city, I do, and there's individuals that they're not, minimum wage employees, but they're on the low pay scale of employees here, I'll guarantee you. And we also are shorthanded with some of the duties that some of the individuals do here at City Hall. Could I use another individual? Certainly. Could I afford to pay another individual a raise that I would like to? Well, that's not my money, it's the taxpayers' money, and I think that's how members of the council look at it. So I'm not, as I said, I'm not trying to be contrary, but I do believe that in the eyes of the council, whenever we had talked about last year, and I appreciate it, I wasn't here, but I did sit in on a couple of the meetings, and I appreciate what you had made clear from the get-go was that the $18,000 increase in the levy last year did not go towards what was on paper. What was on paper that the council had received, the only thing that they had received was on paper. That's the only thing they had to judge what the increased levy was going to be. So I want to be clear on that as well. And, it's the old saying, I trust my mother, everybody else puts it in writing. And so when you see it in writing, you realize that the taxpayers are going to foot the bill for it, no matter if it's here at City Hall or if it's at the levy at the library. So I think we need to keep it into perspective, but I do appreciate you coming up here, and I understand the predicament you're in with minimum wage employees and staffing and what have you. I get it, but I also get it here that I have tough decisions, and the council is going to have tough decisions that we're going to have to make regarding every municipality, every village will have tough decisions they're going to have to make it as well. But I appreciate it. We'll certainly approach this as we move forward, and we will move forward with it, and I appreciate you coming here as always, Mary.
Sure, and again, if you want any legal representatives from Ansel Clink to come and talk with you, they're happy to come and talk with you, and any public comment if you need them,
Yeah.
so. But I'm sure Attorney Drella can handle all
We
of
have
it.
a city attorney?
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
sure do.
Yes, we do.
All right.
All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. All right, moving on, item 7, approval of expenditures, general and special fund expenditures in the amount of $2,478,094.50. Do we have a motion to that effect? Motion by Alderwoman Prather, second by Alderman Stevens. The expenditures are in your packet. Is there any questions on that motion? Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. So if you'll bear with me, I have, I think, 3 for Chief Woody, 3 for Chief Heiser, and 3 for Director Anderson.
Fire away.
Thank you.
No, continue.
So, for Chief Woody, on page 12, about almost towards the bottom, we have Sunset Law Enforcement for 200 and then 150 boxes for $5,421.50. Are those, what are those, boxes?
No, they're boxes of rifle ammunition. So it's roughly 7,000 rounds of rifle ammunition.
So that's ammo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And then below that is the police equipment, the Digiticket license for $10,000. Is that something that we're going to have to budget for yearly?
No, that's actually going to be corrected. I was talking with Shannon, and this will be something that Erica, Shannon, and I work out going forward. That needs to be taken out of the e-citation line item that's been created by the legislature, and that money gets provided to us through court fines and costs. So we do have a fund for that. So it's just going to be a matter of taking that $10,000 out of that line item as opposed to our contractuals. So that will change.
Okay. And then page 13, there was Tilford's Towing. Was that for a squad, or is that going to be reimbursable for a private vehicle that we had to tow?
No, it will not be reimbursable. That was a department vehicle that overheated in the Schaumburg area for an investigation. We had to have it towed. Ultimately, it was found to have a head gasket issue, which ultimately ended up being covered by warranty. But the $345 is the tow to take it from Schaumburg back here to Belvedere.
Okay, thank you. And then Chief Heiser, page 15. We have equipment, the last one at the bottom, PPE coat and pants, 2360. Is that one for every firefighter? Are those replacements?
No, that's the structural firefighting gear that the guys wear. That is for one coat, one pant, and that is for one of our newest firefighters. Because of COVID, it finally came in.
Okay, so that's not something covered under uniform allowance?
No.
Okay. And then also for you, both of these are on page 20. R&R maintenance for electrical inspections for $1,625. Was that an inspection down at the station that we could have used our own electrical inspector for, maybe?
I don't believe I have a page 20, so.
Oh, that's community development. Oh,
That's actually our,
That's our-
we contract for our inspector.
That's our monthly inspector.
Okay, that's his-
Payment, yes. Mhm.
okay. Then I guess that's it, all I had for you, Al. And then for Brent. So there's several in here for Corder Brothers, for the street and the water. So a while back, we, I think, traded them some equipment for some materials. Have we used up all that material credit?
The material credit specifically identified was for ready-mix concrete, and I think we have. We also buy raw materials from them too, stone, several different materials, aggregates, sand, and so forth also. So, but the trade that you're referencing was for ready-mix concrete.
Okay. And then there was one on page 56, and I believe one on page 47 that is the same thing. It's office equipment, Canon large color, both for $2,500. Was that a duplicate?
No, those are both in the water and sewer, but that was a split of the large format copier that council approved. So that was a split, so water paid a portion and sewer paid a portion.
Okay, thanks. And I think I have one for Gina. It was, let me find it. Gina, page 32. The historical preservation stuff. I don't know, just talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so historic preservation has a budget of $2,500 to pay for postage, publishing, and events. So once a year, they have an awards program where they honor property owners for projects they've done to their property, because we all know the older the building, it's expensive, it's a lot of work, so we like to give some kudos out throughout the year, you know, let them know that we acknowledge that they did a renovation project, the city appreciates them putting that effort into their property. So there is a cost of those, the awards cost, the invites, and then catering. Typically, we usually have about 60 to 65 people, and the whole thing usually costs us about $1,500. This year cost us about $2,000. As with everything else, the cost of food went up, the cost of the awards went up, the cost of the invites went up. On the flip side, there has been absolutely no other cost for historic preservation this year, and there wasn't really any last year because we didn't have an awards banquet. But those are what those costs are for. And then we sell, I make a program, and we sell ad space in the program, and the money for the ad space sold goes to the grant fund. Historic Preservation does several fundraisers throughout the year to raise money to help assist property owners in doing renovation projects. So we did make $280 for the grant fund off the event, so that was nice because that goes straight back into the community to help them do renovations. But so that's what the main cost is: the catering, the awards, and the invites.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I had.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other? Alderwoman Frank.
I was just going to say that sometimes when we read off the amount and how large it is, that sometimes some people might want to know what some of those large ticket items are. And so I went through there. I think it's important that we tell them. One of them was the police pension, one is the fire pension. We also had the Leith building. So I think, just letting people know what some of those high ticket items are important.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Hearing none, we have the motion to approve the general and special fund expenditures in the amount of $2,478,094.50. All those in favor will, when their name is called, say aye. Any opposed, nay, as the clerk calls the roll.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
9 in favor.
Thank you. And we also have water and sewer fund expenditures in the amount of $891,012.34. We have a motion to that effect. Motion by Alderman Porter. Can I get a second? Second by Alderman Snow. Thank you. Any questions, concerns regarding these expenditures, the lists? Anything on the list? Okay. Hearing none, when the clerk calls the roll, those in favor will signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay?
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
9 in favor.
Thank you. And for the record, under committee reports and minutes of city officers, let the record show items A through H have been placed on file. And item 8I is the minutes of the Committee of the Whole, Building, Planning, Zoning, Public Works of November 8th. Do we have a motion, 2021, do we have a motion to place that? Motion for approval on that? Alderman Fleury, do we have a second? Second, Alderman McGee. Any discussions, comments regarding the minutes of November 8th? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay, motion passed. Thank you. We have item 9. We have no unfinished business. Item 10, under new business, we have ordinance number 556H for a first reading, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an annexation agreement between the City of Belvedere and the Carl A. Larson property relating to 2106 North State Street. Item B, for first reading, ordinance number 557H, an ordinance annexing certain territory located at 2106 North State Street to the city of Belvedere, Boone County, Illinois, for first reading. Item C, for first reading, ordinance 550, number 558H, and ordinance granting a zoning district change from rural holding district to single-family residential, 6th district at 2106 North State Street. Those are all for first reading. They'll be back. We have resolution number 2021-18, a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Public Health for the Death Certificate Surcharge Fund. Can I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderman Porter. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote. All those in favor will say aye when their name is read. Any opposed, nay?
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman? Aye. McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Prather?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
9 in favor.
Okay, thank you. And we have motions forwarded from Committee of the Whole, Building, Planning, Zoning, and Public Works, November 8th, 2021. We have a motion of Public Works. Chairwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. A, motion to refer to city attorney in drafting an ordinance to vacate the alley 20 foot in width adjacent to 121 North State Street.
Okay, thank you. We have any discussion regarding that motion? Any questions, any concerns? And this is to refer the city attorney to draft an ordinance for that vacation property. Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion passed. Chairwoman Freeman?
B, motion to approve the proposal from ARC Design Resources in the amount of $2,900 to complete the grant application with supporting documentation for the parking lot number 7 expansion and enhancement project. This work will be paid for from line item number 01-5-310-6002.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We have the motion on the floor. Is there any discussion regarding that? Any questions? Any concerns? Any comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor will signify by saying aye, and those opposed nay when the clerk calls the roll.
Freeman? Aye. McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Prather?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
9 in favor.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Chairwoman Freeman. Motions of planning and zoning, Chairman Porter.
Okay, motion to authorize a one-year special use extension for 825 North Appleton for a solar farm.
Okay, is there any questions or concerns? Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you. So, does the county have part of this? Is this all city?
It's all in the city. It's on the landfill that's within Spencer Park that's currently owned by the Conservation District. There is another solar farm project on another landfill on 76 that the county owns, so it gets kind of complicated, but this is solely within the city limits.
Any other questions regarding? Okay, hearing none, we have a motion then to authorize a one-year special use extension for 825 North Appleton Solar Farm. The clerk will call the roll. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, nay?
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Prather?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman? 9 in favor.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any other business on the agenda. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Nice try.
Oh,
Next page.
oh, we do.
We're joking.
I thought he was too.
I'm sorry about that. Well, I obviously wanted to get out of here in a hurry. Okay, we have motions of Finance and Personnel, Chairman Brereton. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. I'll go quick here. D, motion to approve the 2022 Illinois Municipal League Risk Management Association Annual Renewal.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion, any questions or concerns regarding that? We're not hurrying anybody? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor will, when their name is called, answer yes. Any opposed, nay.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman, McGee,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Okay, thank you. Chairman Brereton?
Thank you again. Letter E, motion to approve the estimated tax levy of $5,743,349 as announced by the Finance Director.
Okay. We have a motion then out of committee. Any questions regarding that amount? Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. So, Ms. Hanson, I look at this, and it looks like all of the projected estimated revenues are going to be up quite a bit for the state, and then the per capita dividends that we'll receive. So that coupled with the new infrastructure bill that just passed in Washington, D.C., we should have some opportunities for maybe some municipal bonds to match some of that money. So is that partly why you decided that we wouldn't need to raise our tax levy?
Actually, why we shouldn't raise our tax levy was a decision that came off of my desk. So I did not feel that we should, during this time, we should raise the levy whatsoever. So it's up to the council to decide if, they agree or not. But, I had felt that, as I'd said a little bit earlier, that we represent the taxpayers here, and the levy is our way of checking and balancing what we spend. And so I'll leave it at that. And if anybody wants to increase the levy, there'll be plenty of time to do that, as we had a schedule of dates that we were going to have to approach this. So if anybody has anything contrary or wants to change any of those numbers, let me know. Let us know. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, those in favor of the motion to approve the estimated tax levy of $5,743,349 as announced by the Finance Director, will, when their name is called, answer yes. Any opposed, nay.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman, McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Okay, very good. Now, could I get a motion to adjourn, please? Motion by Alderman Fleury, second by Alderman Frank. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Okay, for the record, we adjourned at 8 p.m. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.